In this video, I'm going to talk about some things you can do and not do if you want to increase your chances of being successful. All right, my first one is don't drink. Don't drink alcohol. Alcohol is literally poison. I spent so much of my young adult life being drunk, or as we called it back then, being wasted. And I understand why they call it being wasted, because you waste a lot of time drinking alcohol, and you also waste a lot of time recovering from the night before. So I would definitely avoid that. Yeah, I know some people say everything in moderation, but for me, I don't even need that. I don't even need the moderation. No alcohol. I mean, think about it. Why do you need to get drunk in order to have a good time? If you need to get drunk in order to have a good time, that's just evidence that you have bigger problems at that point. My next tip is to make up your mind that you're actually gonna be successful. And when you make up your mind that you're actually gonna be successful, you have to do your part to give yourself permission to be successful. Now, in no way am I saying you can't be successful if you drink. I'm not saying that. But for me, success doesn't just include money. It also includes feeling good most of the time. And for me personally, that doesn't include alcohol. And these are all my personal thoughts. Also, think it's very important for me to tell you that everything I ever give advice on are things that I have experience with. So I'm not just talking because I read a book, or I'm not just regurgitating something that I saw on the internet somewhere. And that brings me to my next tip, is to become a positive person. Learn to control your thoughts. Not just control your thoughts. I call it thinking on purpose, or conscious thinking. Like, reach for conscious thoughts on your own, by yourself. Reach for those thoughts, because when you think on purpose, rather than just allowing your brain to think whatever it wants to think, now you're dictating the quality of your mindset and your emotional set. All right, so obviously I'm out of the woods. I'm at home, and I want to continue this conversation about what you can do to increase your chances of being successful. One of the things that I'm going to encourage you to do is to question why it is that you doubt yourself. When I was a young boy coming up, I doubted myself a lot. I always worried about whether or not I was good enough. And not just good enough to succeed at anything, but just good enough for other people. So if you want to increase your chances of success, I'm going to tell you to give yourself permission to be good enough. Give yourself permission to be good enough, because you are good enough when you say you are good enough, and when you believe you are good enough. You're truly good enough when you believe you are good enough. This is the truth. And the quicker you can give yourself permission to be good enough, the quicker you're going to feel successful. And that is the truth. It is the truth. I've never said anything else. Listen to that. I've never said anything else that you resonate with. Listen
to that because it is the truth. Stop doubting yourself. Stop thinking that somebody else is worthy of it, but you're not worthy of it. You're worthy of it. And the reason why it seems like things take time or things take longer to manifest in your reality is not because it takes long for things to manifest in your reality. The reason why it appears as if things have to take longer to manifest in your reality is because it usually takes life experiences for you to go from believing that you are not worthy of a thing to believing that you are worthy of a thing. Even if by the time you believe you're worthy of a thing, you believe it at an unconscious level. I really want you to think about what I just said. Dissect that. Because the moment you understand that time is an illusion, there's no difference between today and tomorrow, because when tomorrow gets here, it'll be today. And if you can convince yourself today that it's okay for you to have the thing, you'll be quicker at learning the lessons you need to learn, learning the skills you need to learn, putting in the work you need to put in order to actually have the thing that you want to have. Hopefully I said that right. Hopefully I said it in a way that you resonate with. But it's true. And I think so many times we underestimate what we are capable of having because we also underestimate what we are capable of becoming. And at a subconscious level, we tend to believe that all we'll ever be is all that we are now. And it doesn't have to be that way. Who you are now does not have to dictate who you become. You don't have to stay the person that you are right now. You don't have to like the same food you like right now. You don't have to hang out with the same people you hang out with right now. You don't have to watch the same shows that you hang out with right now or that you watch right now. You don't have to have the same routine that you have right now. You can change all of that. You don't even have to have the same personality that you have right now. You can change your personality. So when you really understand that who you are today doesn't have to dictate who you become, in that realization, you are now free to decide who it is you want to show up as. Because your personality is a rehearsal. It's not the real you. It's just the you that you've practiced being so long that you now think it's you. So when you understand that your personality, all the things you like and dislike, all of those things combined, all of those things are just a rehearsal. You've been practicing being a character. And that's exciting because when you realize that you've been a character and that you are a character, You can ask yourself, what other character do I want to be? Now, here's the trick. Not only have you practiced being the character that you are right now, you also have people in your life that have gotten used to you being the character that you are right now. And so this makes it harder for the average person to change. Because not only do you have to fight against this rehearsed character that you've been up until this point, you also have to push back against the people, places, and things that have gotten accustomed to you playing that character. And very few people can get past this second step, where they are willing to disappoint well-meaning people by becoming a different character in order to change their life for the better. Most people fear being disowned by other people, especially their families, especially their friends and the people that are in their immediate environment. Most people are afraid of being disowned by those people or misunderstood by those people. So that's why in the process of trying to change a person's life, even if a person realizes that they can change themselves, it's harder to do it because their environment doesn't support that change. One of the things I've been willing to do over time is I've been willing to abandon people. And I know that sounds it probably sounds very bad, but it depends on the lens that you're looking at it through. So I'll show you how I've been able to do this. I can abandon people that I find necessary to abandon. I can abandon those people without thinking twice about it. And the way I justify it is by saying to myself, okay, first of all, I have to agree to abandon myself. And when I agree that I need to abandon myself, I also know that the self that I need to abandon also have people, places, and things around it that have gotten accustomed to the self that I've been playing up until that point. And what I do is I first decide, hey, I'm going to abandon this self. And then before I execute the second phase, which is an abandoning people, I go and present my new self to these people. And when I feel, and they don't know that I'm presenting my new self to them, all they know is that I'm changing. They don't know that it's a conscious thing that I'm doing, but I'll decide who I want to be next, go and present that to these people. And if they don't accept it, if I feel like them not accepting it could be detrimental to me living this new version of myself out, if I feel like staying in contact with these people, places, and things could jeopardize this new character that I am, then I just abort these people because I'm already sold on the new character that I become. Now, you might find that to be shallow because you say, oh, well, you're playing a character. You're not really yourself. And I beg to differ. We're all playing a character. You just don't know you're playing a character. But I realized many years ago that I'm playing a character. And when I realized that I was playing a character, I decided to choose which character I wanted to play because I was already playing a character. I was just playing it unconsciously. We all are. And if you don't believe me, look no further than case studies of individuals that have amnesia. When they wake up in the hospital, they don't know their name. They can't recognize their families. They don't know who they are. They don't know where they are. And many of these individuals tend to have different characteristics after they experience amnesia that they didn't have before the incident. A person that has amnesia might even speak a totally different language or be obsessed with a totally different food that they were no longer that they were not even obsessed with before they had the amnesia. Something rattled in their brain and inside of their biological makeup to the point where they forgot the character that they were playing. And they woke up in the hospital and had to create a whole nother character. So we all are playing characters. Everything around us is make-believe. All of it. This shirt that I got for them 4 seasons is made up. Somebody made it up. This microphone, somebody made it up. These walls, somebody made it up. My crystal, everything is all make-believe. The desk, everything is all make-believe. We live in a make-believe world that people believe is real. And when you really grasp that, it gives you more flexibility when it comes to living your version of success, which is the only version of success I'm even interested in living. I'm only interested in living my version of success. And in my humble opinion, you should only be interested in living your version of success. But in order to live your version of success, you have to ask yourself, what is your version of success? And to get the real answer, you're going to have a shallow answer and then there's a real answer. And usually people go with the shallow answer. And because people go with the shallow answer, most people never experience success because they're basing it off of a version of success that comes from society. They haven't even done any deep soul searching to ask themselves, what does success even look like for you? And not only what does success look like for you, what does success look like for you in these different compartments of your life? What does it look like for your health? What does success look like for your money? What does success look like for your relationships? What does success look like for your lifestyle? All of those things matter, but it takes you sitting down and being honest with yourself. And that takes some soul searching. And that means you're going to have to abandon parts of yourself. Maybe not even your whole self. I've abandoned my whole self at times in order to adopt a new self, because that was necessary for me. So if I've been willing to abandon my whole self, I've also been willing to abandon whole people. Because the only thing I'm really loyal to is my soul's calling. That's the only thing I'm really loyal to. Everything else is debatable. And this is what I have been calling breaking free from the institution of obligation. I've been saying this for years. Just break free from the institution of obligation. What does it look like when you break free from the opinions of other people and you sit down and you drop down, you close your eyes, you drop down deep in meditation and you sit, you put your attention on your root chakra and you ask yourself, what is it that I really want for myself? Who am I deeply at my core? If I could believe anything I wanted to believe about myself and the world around me, what would I believe? Yeah. How do I feel about life right now? How do I feel about myself right now? See, these are all real questions that you can ask yourself if you're willing to dive deep. This is how you can continuously improve the quality of your life experience and go from feeling like you're unsuccessful to feeling and knowing that you, in fact, are success. It's Robbie Cornelius. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Master yourself.